What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $779 in the first hour of trading. I actually finished the day up around $690. I gave a little bit back, trying to do a little bit of trading after the first hour, and it just didn't work out. So I threw in the towel, and definitely happy with the day. Didn't make a ton of trades, but nonetheless, there was a few that worked, and we'll get into them right away. So my first trade was CASY. This one was interesting to me. So yesterday, you can see here on the daily chart, uh, you know, for a little bit, it's been kind of consolidating in this range here. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, it dropped pretty heavily down to the support level. Yesterday, it was down at the support level, and then it had some news that Janus took a stake in the company, and it shot this thing from $96 to what is this, like 104, like very quickly too. It's a pretty big move for just a rumor that they took a stake. Then about 30 minutes later yesterday, Janus comes out and says that they did not take a stake. They do not own one single share of CASY. And this thing plummeted from 104 down to like 90, I want to say 90, 97, 98 area, somewhere in there. And then at the end of the day, it came right back up to $100. And I'm like, what the heck? This doesn't make a lot of sense. So, it was down in this 95, 94 range before that news came out. The news turned out to be fake, yet it was still up 5%. That just didn't seem right. So today, it was on watch for me for a short. And what I did was, I waited for what I call an opening range breakdown. Is I'll let the I'll let the market open up, I'll let the stock open up, I'll let it show me kind of an opening range. So you'll have your high and you'll have your low, set in right there. And my idea was that if it broke the low of the opening range, I was going to go short. If it was somehow going to break the high of the opening range, I just wasn't going to touch it. So that's what I ended up doing. So I let it just kind of, do its thing. I was looking to go short, so I was kind of hoping that the lower end of that trend, that line would break down, and this kind of right here told me that it was wanting to go down. So we had like a pop, pull back, basically cancel each other out. We had a candle over candle here. It didn't do anything. So now a lot of times if the candle over candle doesn't do anything, the candle under candle will. And that just happened to coincide with the breaking down of the opening range. And I wanted to take it early, but the volume was really light. I'm watching the L2, when I'll pull the L2 over here right now, but you can't see anything. But you'll see when I show the live video, the spreads are really far apart. And when the spreads got down to where they were bearable, like if I had to stop out, I was okay with losing 20 cents rather than losing 40 cents. I took the short, and I took the short right here. And immediately, once I took that short, it seemed like other people were watching the exact same thing I was. This thing drops down to like, I don't know what this low is, 99.26. So I went short at 99.56. It broke down, and then I thought like I was in the driver's seat. I really kind of wanted to hold this all day long, and if I would have, it would have been a home run. It finished the day at 96.72. I do end up covering it at 98.80. So from 99.50 area to 98.80. Let's call it 98.78. That's a nice win on 1,000 shares. But I'll show you the entry, and then we'll get to the when I cover it later on, because I did hold this for a little bit longer than typical. I'm just not jumping in it.
Earlier, heard some chatter of a possible surprise drop in the number that's coming up at 10 a.m.
All right, I'm short CASY 99.56 for an opening range breakdown. Spreads suck, but the ask was starting to move enough for me to be able to take it before it broke low a day. So we're on this screen right here since we're not looking at charts. This one was a trade on PRAN. This one was a high of day low float scanner that it popped up. I took a look at it. I decided to jump in. The reason why I kind of started to jump in is because the leading play of the day at this time of the day was CHCI. This thing was just going crazy. It did really well today. It was tearing it up, and a lot of times when you get one that starts going crazy, the next one that hits a high day scanner, people just jump on. So when PRAN hit my scanners, let's get PRAN up. I jumped on it, and I was thinking, okay, it could get over 250. That was kind of my goal. Get over 250, sell on the other side of 250. So it hits my scanners. I jump in. I can kind of see that, it has support around this level here, 216. I'm getting in at 232. So, worst case scenario is I lose 15 cents, which, would suck, but, it hasn't really gone crazy yet. The only thing I did not like about it was that it was hitting the 100-day moving average, and you kind of see that right here. It hit that 100-day moving average today, and it just stopped dead in its tracks. So that's what happened. I got in 232 as fast as I could, popped up, and stopped. And when it stopped, I was like, well, crap. And you'll hear some of the chat rooms that I subscribe to, they're talking about it, and they didn't like it for basically the same reason. I think they use a 200-day EMA instead of the SMA, which was right around 250 at that time. I don't use EMAs, I use simple moving averages. But nonetheless, it was the same thing. Hitting a moving average resistance, and they didn't want to buy resistance levels, which makes sense, neither do I. But nonetheless, momentum just killed it, or just stopped coming in. And when I saw that, it was time to get out, and I got out for basically a penny loss, $20. CHCI, tune up some volume there.
Russia's Novak says restrictions on oil production could be eased softly if OPEC
PRAN hitting scanners.
balancing in June.
Getting in that one, 233.
I'm not sure about Fran. I'll watch it for a second. It's hitting 254 is the 200 moving average on Fran. So it's coming right up into that 200. CHCI.
And volume just stopped. All right, I'm out. Break even on that trade. So DEST, this was another one that hits my low float scanner, and the reason why I jump in this one, first off, again, you had one stock that was going crazy. A lot of times you'll get sympathy moves out of the next stocks that hit the scanners. So this one hit my scanners, I jumped to it. I get over here and I'm like, okay, well, it hasn't moved much, right? So like low a day is like 327, right around there. I'm chasing a little bit here. I'm thinking, okay, maybe 350 breaks. But the reason why I like that is if you look at the daily chart here, the last kind of resistance point in 6 months was this 346 range. And I'm thinking, man, this is the time of day it could break that. And if it breaks that, it could move quite a bit, maybe into this gap window back here. I mean, it could get going. Unfortunately, that resistance level right here turned into resistance today. I mean, it hit that square on the noggin and sold off. And normally I probably would have stopped out right here, but I was flipping between stocks and I wasn't really watching it as closely as I probably should have, and it just didn't work out as nicely as I thought it could have worked out. But normally, when a stock moves up towards that $half area, which is resistance, I'll watch it, and if the level 2 starts to look like the bid is getting thin or the momentum just stops, I'll just usually sell. But I was flipping around, wasn't paying attention to it, and then I come back to it, I'm like, whoa, this thing sold off and broke low of day. Like when I see this right here, I'm not trying to stay in this stock at all. I'm just trying to get out and scoop up as many pieces that have shattered as I possibly can. You know, this is where people become bag holders when they try to hold through this and they hope that it, you know, they buy up here, they see this happen, and they try to hold through and hope that it gets back up here. You know, this is a clear sign that this move is not strong and it's not supported, and you know, it ain't going up. It's coming down, if anything. So when I flip over to the chart, I see that this has happened. I'm like, okay, I just need to get out, and I end up selling for about a 9-cent loss, $180 loss.
Doubled.
CHCI Comstock shares continue to move higher.
DEST on the scanners.
Financing deal reported. That's Charlie Hotel.
This one has breakout potential over 350. I'm gonna jump in 342, risking 10 cents here.
High right now is
Oh gosh, I just realized my DEST trade was in the shitter. I'm gonna stop out of this one.
Shares up 2.7% CNBC
for the test of the $0.50.
report.
So my next play is TVIX. This is the velocity shares daily 2 times the VIX. So this is they call it the fear indicator. You know, the VIX is the fear indicator. This goes up when basically the SPY is dropping fast. So what caused this, Stock Jock? So basically you'll hear the news, and this is why it's so important to have a news channel. You'll hear the news guy come on and say that the meeting with North Korea and the US and Singapore that's supposed to happen in about 3 weeks is now being canceled by Trump because North Korea was very aggressive with their language recently, talking about nuclear war, blah, 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 blah. So when I immediately heard that, that's the kind of geopolitical stuff that can move the market. And as you can kind of see here, this is right where that news came out, right here, and it shot the TVIX up in a very short amount of time, right? 3 minutes, it went from it's a volatility index. It went from 469 to 490 in 3 minutes, and after that it went to 501, and it's kind of hovered in that range, and then it sold off at the end of the day when the market realized, no big deal. And you can kind of see at the exact same time the SPY took a crap on itself. So this is where that news came out. The market started dropping. Tried to find a bottom here, popped back up, dropped again until it finally bottomed out and moved back up. And I think it went high a day towards the end of the day, whatever. So this is the area we're talking about. When the markets, especially on geopolitical news or any kind of, for instance, if, God forbid, but if the news comes out that we dropped a nuclear bomb on some country, right? You would see the markets absolutely plummet very fast, no doubt. And you will see the TVIX, if I can get it up, you would see the opposite. The TVIX would shoot through the roof. So it's a fear indicator, it's a volatility indicator, and you can play that. So on big news items like that, that's going to move all the markets, the Russell, the Dow, the SPY, all those indices, that's when I'll play the TVIX. And that's kind of what happened here. I got in at 479. That's as fast as I get in. I heard the news. Got in at 479 right here, and I wrote it up until it looked like the markets were trying to find a bottom, and I ended up selling at 491 over here somewhere. Yeah, we kind of double topped here. The market's kind of bottomed at the exact same time. I started to pull back down. I sold 10.03 right in here somewhere. So it was a nice win for sure, and we'll see the entry, and I'll show you the exit a little bit later on.
S&P
300
futures
shares.
are dropping now on that report. Trump says summit
into a
with
circuit
Kim
breaker,
planned
that's
for
the
Singapore
question.
will not
No
take
halt yet.
place. Again,
It sounds like
futures selling off here now.
Trump just came out and
on that
said the
report.
summit with North Korea will not take place. That's market's going to take a dive on that.
40, try to squeeze into the next halt. I would add up here.
Trump
for
says he
possible
looks forward to
move
meeting with
$5.
Kim
I'm
someday.
going to go long some TVIX at 480. Low days 470, so I'll stop out if it goes low a day.
You know, when they just kind of take off.
So this is where I cover up my short on CASY. So with the markets tanking like they were at this time frame, we'll pull up just the SPY just for reference. You can kind of see the market's tanking, right? And the market is like the current, right? You know, these major indices, they're the current. You know, you never if the current is going, you know, down, so to speak, right? This is the current of the market. Think of it like, you know, high tide, low tide. The current's going in, the current's going out. Right now, the current is pushing down, right? So all the stocks are probably just going to get a lot of times. You know, it's a lot easier for stocks to go down when the market as a whole is going down. So with that in mind, when that happened, CASY got that little push down that I was looking for, and you can kind of see that here. It was helping, and then the market started to turn and started to pick up a little bit more steam. You can kind of see volume come in, and as that happened, I covered half at 98.80 just to lock in some profit. It was still trading really thin. I mean, we were only getting about, I don't know, what is this, 2,000 shares of volume, 100 shares of volume, 1,300, 1,500. So it was trading really thin, so it was hard to get in and get out. So I just wanted to lock in my profit. I had a nice chunk of change, and it looked like it was going to get back up, and I didn't want to stay in it to test the VWAP, which is what it ended up doing. I felt pretty good that it was going to continue to move down, but again, I had 1,000 shares, and I just really didn't want to hold this when I had profit just sitting on the table. I'm the worst when it comes to holding a stock for long periods of time. So usually when I see green in my unrealized profit loss column, I want to make that realized. I want to take that profit, put it in my pocket. So that's what happened. So it looked like it was going to curl back up, and I ended up covering the rest at 98.76 for basically an average of 98.78-ish, somewhere in there. So very nice win for sure off of that short.
I'll probably wait for the first pullback, and then, so if it opens at 550,
I'm going to cover half, 98.80 here. Just covering half.
You know, that's kind of the three ways to trade this. So opens below 470, I'm a buyer over 470, typically. If it opens right around 5, I'm going to add into the whole dollar. If it opens really high around 550, I wait for a second, let it pull back, and then
all right, looks like, all right, I'll cover the rest, 98.76.
North Korea demolition.
Look for the first pullback.
That according to Bloomberg.
So this is where I sell my TVIX play. So as you can see, this is where the news came out about North Korea. The market's tanked, came down, tried to pop back up, came back down, and now we have a double bottom right here, and that's a bullish sign. So when I saw that, and you could either watch the SPY to do that, or you can change over to the TVIX, and you can see the exact same thing. Let me get over here so you can see it. Where is the time frame? Okay, here we go. So at the exact same time that we just saw that double bottom on the SPY, the TVIX, which is the inverse of that move, is going to have a double top, and you can kind of see the double top right here, which is a bearish sign. So when the SPY goes down, this goes up. When the SPY goes up, this goes down. So it was giving me the bearish sign. It didn't really break it. See, this is a stair step, right? I want to see continued stair steps. Here's the first stair step up. Here's the next stair step up. Ideally, I want to see the next stair step up. Well, when it was about time to do that stair step, instead of making a stair step up, it just came out to the same level as the previous stair step. That is called a double top right here. and that is a bearish sign. So when I saw that, I took it as a cue to take the profit. And you know, if I wanted to play it again, I could certainly play it again. I didn't get a good entry on my next play on it, but whatever. Regardless, it was a nice win. Like I said, I got in at basically 480, sold at 491, $220 on 2,000 shares. It's a nice win. So I'll take it and go play the next one.
40, not 1440. It blew through that 50 moving average. Gave up a dollar here.
All right, I'm out 491 on my TVIX. The tick was moving up. And I just think it just looks like it wants to bounce a little bit, so just going to take my profit on it, and I can always buy back. And that's how I finished my morning, up $779, as you can see in the top right hand corner. Like I said, I did give about $80 of that back, or so. I finished, I think it was around $690, something like that. So it was a good day for sure. Held on to the big chunk of my wins, gave a little bit back. It's going to happen. So if you're interested in my trading style, or if you're new to trading, whatever, I run a free chat room. The link for that is in the description of this video. It's the Discord. You'll see it as the Discord chat room. Discord is the program I use. It's great. Come on in. I run a voice alert service in the morning where I'm calling out what I'm seeing, what I'm playing. It's great. I call out all the things that I can call out. It's great. We also have a lot of good traders in here that are calling out what they see as well. It's free. Come on in, ask questions. There are no dumb questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question, so ask questions. If you want, you can private message me in Discord, and I'd be more than happy to answer that when I can. And I get messages all the time, and I help people out. That's what I like to do. That's why I started the channel. If you're interested in any of the chat rooms that I subscribe to personally, they are all listed in the description down below. They're great. I can't say enough about them. I spend thousands of dollars every year, which is a tax write-off. I spend thousands of dollars as an expense every year for these services, and they all make me more money than what I pay for them. If I could do that, I will continue to pay for those services, but I guarantee, every one of them I've made so much money on, it's ridiculous, and there's no reason to ever cancel them. So those are my chat rooms. Those are my news services. Everything is listed down below. All right, I will see you in the next video.